this right here, you bunch of prima donna ballerina mother.
Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. As we roll along here this NFL offseason, we are just a few weeks away from training camp, and it's time to start giving you some more of my NFL picks, this time on teams that are potential sleeper values, not only in the NFL future odds, but against the spread this season as well. We've already looked at the AFC, and it's time to take a look at the NFC, a much deeper conference this season. And all of these sleepers, to be considered here under my definition of sleeper, they have to be a 10-1 or worse favorite to win their respective conference in the NFC this season. With the favorites excluded, like the Saints, like the Packers, and both the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers, these are my three best sleeper options in the NFC. We'll start it off with the Chicago Bears, who come in at 10-1 exactly to win the NFC this season. I think that's a tremendous value considering that this team, without Jay Cutler last year, was a top 10 offense. Imagine with him healthy for an entire 16 games, what that could do for Chicago's offense with top 10 skill players at all four positions. It's absolutely plausible to think that the Chicago Bears, with that offense and hopefully with a healthy and improved defense, could easily make the playoffs and make a run at the NFC title. Now, obviously, they'd have to get past several good teams, starting with their division rival, the Packers, who also project to be pretty good this season. But the Bears, if they're improved on defense where they were last year, which is obviously quite horrific after all the injuries they sustained, the Bears have a ton of upside this season at 10-1. Don't sleep on them when they win the NFC or against the spread next season. Now, the St. Louis Rams are a team that you obviously aren't going to bet to win the NFC, but at 28-1, they're being slightly undervalued compared to where they were last season and to where they project to be this season. Now, the Rams obviously still were under 500 last season, but they did do a very good job of beating good teams, and with that defense and that front seven, and especially if Sam Bradford can come back, stay healthy, and still be on pace for what he was on pace to do last season, the Rams project to be around a 500 team, and once again a solid ATS bet. 28-1 is undervaluing them, and I think they'll once again be undervalued in the in-season odds. And another team that's also 28-1 that I think actually has a chance to win the NFC potentially is the Washington Redskins. Now, that is a very far-fetched scenario, and things would have to go completely their way under first-year head coach Jay Gruden. However, 28-1, the Redskins are immensely undervalued. I think they're going to triple their win total from last season, and while that may not put them in the playoffs, it probably will indicate that they've been a pretty solid ATS bet throughout the season. So even though if the Redskins miss out on winning that division, which I think is the only way a team from the NFC East is going to make the playoffs this season, at 28-1 they're undervalued, and I think they're going to be undervalued in the NFL odds this season as well. But that'll do it for me this time. Make sure you check out the AFC as well this offseason. But until next time, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.